Hi, my name is Bob Taylor, and I'm your host for this segment of Our Ventura TV. I'm here today with my guest, Hope Manzano from Oasis After School Program. Hi, Hope. How are you today?
Hi, Bob. I'm great. Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
Okay, Oasis After School Program. Why don't you explain that to me?
Okay, Oasis After School Program is a program down in Vicente Guerrero, Mexico. We are a after-school program. We're not associated specifically with any one school. We just provide assistance to the children in certain communities.
Okay, now, so you put on after-school programs at schools, or, I mean, how is your after-school program different than what we see at schools here?
Well, I think that most of the after-school programs here in the U.S. are out of the schools. You know, the kids go to school and then they just seamlessly go into the after-school program. In Mexico, they don't have that kind of support. They don't have that kind of government assistance, whether it's government or whatever it is here. It's very much supported just mainly by the community. In this case, we are supported by people in the U.S. mainly, and we go in and we take kids basically after they get out of school. It's not on the campus at the school, it's in a different place. We take the kids and we give them a meal, we give them tutoring, mentoring, fun things. We teach them English, computer classes, we do crafts with them. It's really a way to get them off the street. And the way that it's different is that we're not really associated with one school. We can take kids from all different schools in that one community.
Okay, now, do the schools in Mexico, do they not offer any type of after-school programs of any kind?
No, they don't. And there's, specifically in this area where we live in Mexico, I can't speak for all of Mexico because I don't know, but in this area there are no after-school programs. Basically, when the kids get out of school, they are left to fend for themselves, mainly because a lot of the parents go to work and they're at work, and there's not the resources to really have babysitters or anything like that. So they just are left alone for that time. And we come in and we help these kids to fill their time with something productive that's going to help them in their future.
Now, when I think after-school programs, I think of things like robotics, dance programs, baseball, soccer, you know, those kind of things that the kids enjoy doing, the kids want to sign up for because it's something other than school. Mm-hmm. You guys don't offer those kind of programs?
No, unfortunately we don't have the resources to provide all those programs, but we do teach English. Like I said, we teach English, we teach computers, computer programming, and we do some sports, we do soccer and some other activities with them. But you know, the possibilities are endless of what we could do down the road. We were founded in 2011, so at this time we're currently kind of young, but you know, we have
just little babies actually.
Yeah, I mean, we could go to so many different levels. We could provide those kind of things in the future if we were able to down the road with the funding, with the right funding, the right backing.
And so where do you get, you know, I met you at church, which I was very excited to meet you. You come up here and you live down there.
Yes.
You spend a week, a month or so here. And you promote Oasis After School Program. Mm-hmm. I saw you at a church, but you're not a religious-based organization whatsoever.
No, we're not a religious-based organization, but we are mainly funded by churches and individuals out of churches, just because that's how it has happened. But we welcome support from any organization or any business that sees what we do and wants to have part in it. So, like you said, we met at church. We have a lot of groups from this area, from Ventura County specifically, who have been partnering with the community where I was raised down in Mexico for the last 20 or 25 years, which is how I even have the connection here, is through those groups. So I do know a lot of people here, and there's a lot of churches who specifically go down to that area to help support in that way.
You know, you just gave me goosebumps. The fact that we in Ventura County, through the churches, help support a program down in Mexico that is good for the kids down there really makes me feel like whether my tithing dollars or whether the work I put in, we only have three things we can give: time, talent, or treasures. That's all any of us own. But when you can see all of that being utilized through the things you are doing, then that just shows that you're on the total right path of what's going on.
Yes, and we're so grateful for any support. I mean, we are at Oasis, we are 100% funded by donations. So anything that you can, any way that you can help is hugely appreciated, whether it's school supplies, actual funding, money, a small amount, big amounts, you know, everything is appreciated anyway. And I'm so grateful, especially to the specific churches in this community, in this area, who have been going down. You know, they haven't been going down to Oasis specifically, but they have been going down to that area for the last over 20 years, like I said, and they have been investing in that community. And in a way, they also invest in Oasis and in those children and in generations to come, that their investment will keep on giving.
Yes, and it helps so many people. And I don't want to stereotype anything, but I would think a lot of companies here that count on the labor from down there would be great investors. I mean, they don't want, I mean, they want good, solid people to be able to come here, even those that want to stay down in Mexico, but they still need them for jobs up here. They want good people. So that'd be a great program for them to invest in to start with, as opposed to the dollars they have to invest in the future.
Yeah, and you know, Oasis does provide that kind of investment into children. The community that we service right now, the parents of those children haven't, over 80% of them haven't even finished elementary school. So for us to be able to come in and to give them a hope and opportunity where they don't have that at home, you know, their parents can't help them at home. We're helping we're helping to build a stronger future for them individually and for the community. And you know, education, I think, is the basis of anything good. And I think that it's so important for us to be able to invest in our youth, whether that youth comes back here to the U.S. to work or they stay down in Mexico. You know, whatever it is, I think it's always a good investment to invest in the children of the generation.
Well, you took things right down to the grassroots level of where we got to start. The churches come down and can help with the community. The churches can come down and help with a lot of things, but unless the children can learn to take over for that, those things eventually die out. And so we need to make sure that the kids, as many as we possibly can, whether it's in Mexico or the U.S., I mean, they're our future leaders. And we have to make sure that they're ready to be our future leaders. You know, and that's the kind of thing that I think resonates with everybody as far as helping is concerned. So I do have a question. What do you consider a big success story? You've been there long enough to see kids that start right at the very bottom and work their way through things and learn. Can you think of any particular success stories? You don't need to mention any names, but...
Well, there's a few success stories that I can mention, and I'll be very general, not with anybody in particular, but we've had children who have started at Oasis in elementary school, and we've seen them go through their whole through elementary school all the way to high school and graduate high school. And you know, here in the U.S., we might not think of graduating through high school being a huge success or something really noteworthy, but in Mexico, especially in that area, like I had mentioned before, a lot of the parents of these children haven't even graduated elementary school. So to see their children go that much beyond what their parents did and to be able to see them graduate from high school is huge. We've had children come in to Oasis, the Oasis program, who have been grades behind where they're supposed to be because they were held back for whatever reason. They were taken out of school. They were there's many reasons why they would be taken out of school to help in the family, to help support the family, to go to work, or to be taken out of school to help babysit the kids that are home while their parents go to work. There's multiple reasons why kids do not finish elementary school or middle school or high school. But to see these kids who have been held back for whatever reason come into Oasis and not only thrive in where they are in their education, but actually go beyond where they're supposed to be because of the constant tutoring and mentoring that we can provide. We see kids catch up where they're supposed to be in their educational level and be successful despite any kind of whatever has held them back in the past.
Right. So it's a big, here we try to work on every child being ready for college. You guys just work on a child being ready for high school.
Yes, and I think that's a noteworthy thing to talk about. We push our children here in the U.S. We push them to prepare them to go to college. We want them. It is our dream that they would want to go to college and that they would go and they would do great things. Well, in Mexico, in this area, we are at the level where we're pushing them to finish high school. We're pushing them to be successful
or
through
even
high
start
school.
high school.
Or even start high school, exactly. Even start is a huge deal for them to be able to start and complete that. And currently, we don't have scholarships for the children at Oasis. What I would like to see happen is that Oasis would start giving scholarships to the children to go to high school, because high school is not free in Mexico. They do have to pay, and it is a price that for us might seem something very small. It is about one of the high schools there. It costs about 1,300 pesos a semester, which is about $75. But when you're making a minimum wage of 75 pesos a day, which is about $5 a day, sending one child to high school is a pretty big deal.
That's over a half month's wages.
Exactly, and imagine if you have to send 3 children to high school, or however many it is. So a lot of the kids that drop out of high school, actually it's because their parents can't afford to send them. So I would like to see Oasis starting to give scholarships for kids to go to high school, and eventually I'd like to see us give scholarships for these kids to go to college as well.
Well, dream big. Have your own high school.
Yeah.
So where are your Oasis schools? Do you work inside other schools, or where do you have your locations?
Well, we currently only have 2 campuses at this time. Neither of them are in a school. We just place the Oasis program in a community, and all of the surrounding schools go to who are able to, because there's not a lot of transportation. It's usually within walking distance of where the kids are coming from. So we have 2 campuses right now. The main one, which is in Las Misiones, and that one services about 3 or 4 communities within walking distance of Oasis, and the other one is a newer program. The newer program is actually out of a community center. So in the morning, that facility is used as an old folks program for people to come in and have activities during the day for the older community. And then in the afternoon, Oasis uses it. So at Las Misiones, it is the building, the land, everything is owned by Oasis and the program. But in Las Aves, it's not. And really, in the future, that's probably what we will do. As we grow, we won't necessarily buy more land or build more facilities. What we will probably do is move into facilities that are already there and find places, or even go out of schools and go into the schools and set something up at the school and be able to help, because we'll be able to reach more people with a lower budget that way, which is, that's probably our biggest limitation right now, is our budget.
All right, first question.
Yes.
How do people get a hold of Oasis after school program to support? How do they get a hold of you?
So the best way to get a hold of us is through our website. You can donate directly through the website, which is OasisInBaja.com. I feel like phone numbers are irrelevant here, because they were all, it's probably my cell phone number is the best one. We do have an office phone number at Oasis, but it's a Mexican number, and a lot of people have a problem calling Mexico. So really the best way to get a hold of us is through the website, which is OasisInBaja.com.
Okay, we've got less than a minute left.
Okay.
What do you want the people of Ventura County to know about your programs that we haven't mentioned?
Well, we are definitely a program that bridges the gap for these children. There are so many obstacles that keep these children from continuing their education, like I already mentioned, and there's only so much we can do, but giving hope, I believe, is the biggest thing that we can do, and that's what we do. We come in and we give all these children hope. And we were talking a little bit about this before, and we mentioned that we at this time we are only reaching about 170 kids a semester in Oasis. And maybe 170 kids doesn't sound like a big number in the grand scheme of things, because there's so many kids who need to be reached. But 170 kids affects and gives hope to 170 kids.
Hope is giving hope.
Hope is giving hope, yes.
Thank you for being my guest today, Hope.
Thank you for having me.
Well, my name is Bob Taylor. I've been here today with my guest, Hope Manzano, from Oasis After School Programs. Until next time, thank you very much.